Hello and welcome to this community yin yoga practice. My name is Devi Daly, and this is a class where you're going to get to see more than just me practicing. You'll get to see my community of yoga students, people who have taken my yin yoga teacher training, and this is a wonderful way to see different bodies doing the practice and to get some really good ideas for how you might want to modify it in your own body. All right, yin yoga teachers, community practice. We've got some yin yoga teachers in the room who have graduated from my yin yoga teacher training, so welcome everyone.
Hi everyone, so I'm French. I'm from Bordeaux. I bumped into Devi online and it was really a beautiful encounter for me. And so I decided to take the training. So actually I got 2 certifications during last year and I was very happy. It was a lot of work, but I much enjoyed this training. I keep telling Devi how, grateful I am. And I taught immediately. So I was given the opportunity to teach at university, grads and staff. I'm very happy with that. It's my second job. I'm an academic. I teach English, but I really enjoy to be on the mat. So voila. And I'm very happy to be here with you.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Kitty McRae. I did Devi's course. That was actually the second yin training I'd done. I'd done Bernie's training the year before, but didn't feel ready to teach. And after doing Devi's training, I felt ready to teach, and I've been teaching ever since. And it's going really, really well.
I'm Marty Krasny. I'm in Sausalito, California, about 10 miles south of Devi, maybe not even. I took the teacher intensive because I was interested in all the postures and the physiology and just a chance to be intensively involved during COVID. Very glad I did, went into it without really anticipating that I would apply it as a teacher at this point in my life. So I'm just a perennial student.
I'm just so enjoying listening to everybody else. And I didn't intend to become a teacher, but I wanted to deepen my practice and my understanding of yin, which I did so greatly. Part of why I'm back is just to touch back into this community and this way of doing yoga and practice with you. Wherever I practice yoga, I'm always thinking the yin questions about which focal point, which archetype, which part of my body am I working with here, and what is it that needs to be stretched here? How do I do that? How do I move into that? I've got my own track going inside, as well as whatever I'm hearing from the teacher. That it just works for my body so deeply. This practice and this library of material, it's fantastic. And I'm growing and like somebody said earlier, just wanting to keep learning.
So welcome everyone, and we are going to be doing a yin yoga practice starting now in Seiza. So please come into a Seiza position on your heels, and let me put this into gallery view. And use a block under your seat or whatever you'd like to do, and let your hands rest in your lap. And we will take 1 full minute here to feel the breath and to start to feel into the body. Noticing your energy, noticing your state of mind. And gently allowing the eyes to open now and coming into butterfly pose for the first asana today. So sitting with the soles of your feet together, your knees can be open The feet can be open like a book. They don't have to be pressed together, and you can come forward over the legs. You are free to use any props you wish. And at this point, I'm going to come up and see what you all are doing and spotlight some of our lovely students. Students who are teachers. And so here we have Kitty is doing a long butterfly, we could call it. A long butterfly with her feet farther away from her pelvis than we typically see. And that's a perfectly valid variation of this, especially if you feel it in the target area, which is the inner thighs and the inner groins. And by the way, we're holding these poses for 2 minutes apiece, most of them today. And as you continue to settle in, you can feel your breath, feel your body. Notice what you're feeling in the target area. Allowing the spine and the back body to soften. And now I have Jan on the screen, whose knees are up high, and that is how her bones of her hips are. That's what her butterfly looks like. And so this is, excuse me, this is the skeletability that Jan has. And she knows, because she's an experienced yogi and an experienced yin yogi, that this pose is not about getting your knees down toward the floor. This pose is about feeling a stretch in the inner thighs, the inner groins. And she feels that in this variation. If she were to say that she doesn't feel it enough, she wants to feel more sensation in her groin, then she could put a cushion under her seat, and that might help. And now slowly releasing your butterfly pose, everyone, and coming into a resting position on your back. So very slowly coming down onto your back for about 1 minute. And feeling the effects of the pose. And feeling your breath. Noticing any particular sensations in certain parts of your body that might include right now the inner thighs or the lower back. And now hug your knees into your chest, please. And you could gently rock side to side if it feels good. And now we'll come into your choice of a back bend, Sphinx pose, or the Golden Gate pose with a block under the hips. And oh, you could also do that one too, sure. Whatever back, so the Golden Gate, if anyone doesn't remember the name of, or what that is bridge pose with a block under the hips, like so. Or you can keep the knees bent. And like you can see Stephanie doing, she's chosen to have her legs quite wide. And as we learn in Yin Yoga teacher training, there's some anatomical reasons, skeletability reasons, we could call them, that opening your legs wide in a back bend might be a lot more comfortable, might be a lot less intense on the back, might be more relaxing. And on the contrary, if you wanted to have more sensation of back bend, more intensity, you could bring your legs closer together instead. And Kitty is choosing to have her arms up over her head now for her variation of the pose. So the target area in this Golden Gate pose is to have a feeling of stretch in the front of the thighs, the front of the hips, and also some back bending, which is more of a compressive sensation in the lower back. And in the sacrum area. And the compressive sensation, some people think that means it's painful or bad, the word compression, because the word compression gets a bad rap. But in this context, the word compress means a therapeutic compression where the discs are rubbing together. The bones are rubbing together, squeezing the discs, and the spinal discs like that, as long as it's not too much. They like a little bit of reminder that they have a job to do. It makes them do their job better, like so many things in life. You can continue to let your breath be smooth and soft, whatever pose you're in. Oh, now slowly coming out of your pose and resting on your back in any comfortable position. You may enjoy a regular resting position like a Shavasana, or soles of your feet together and knees wide in a kind of a Supta Baddha Konasana. Whatever would make your lower back feel happy right now. Relaxing and feeling the effects of the back bend. And now bending your knees, bring the knees together, hug them into your chest. You can circle your knees now a few times in one direction and then a few times in the other direction. Then roll over onto one side and taking it into the dragon pose. So come to hands and knees and step your right leg forward for our yin lunge, the dragon pose. And I'm not going to tell you what variation to do today, just whatever variation you would like, with or without blocks, hands on the inside of the foot or the outside of the foot, or either side of the foot. Dragon split, dragon tail. Have at it. Kitty is using a block under each hand. And Jan is using a block under her thigh or under her sitting bone, which is sometimes I call that supported dragon. It's a wonderful variation. And then she's simply got the right elbow resting on the knee. So this is a nicer way to lift the torso upright if you like that extra bit of back bend, by getting your hands off the floor. That block under the legs is a great way to get the weight off the hands too if you have wrist concerns. And Stephanie is doing a twist, a dragon twist. We can't see her left arm too well, but her left hand is on the floor. And then her right hand is on the knee. And she's bringing a nice little back bend into it, which will intensify the sensation in the target area, which I realize I didn't mention yet. The target area is the front of the leg, the back leg. So left leg is your back leg if you have your right leg forward, and the sensation will be in the front of your left leg. That's our 2 minutes in the pose. So let's take it back into downward dog, or you can move through a vinyasa or take a child's pose. Just about half a minute to transition. Very good, everyone. Let's take it to the second side, left leg forward. And we can't see Anne's full body, but what we can see is that she's down. She's doing the gecko variation here, and she's probably down on her elbows on the floor. And then she likes winging her knee out to the side. Her left knee is doing the winged dragon, it's sometimes called. So the target area on this side is the front of the right leg. And here we can see the other side of Stephanie's twisted dragon, the French twist. Because Stephanie is here in France. They're in France. I'm not in France. Softening and settling into your pose, into gravity. Noticing your breath. And now slowly releasing, making your way to downward dog, walk the legs. Or your choice of how to transition. We're going to end up in child's pose. Take your time getting there. We'll do our rebound rest in child's pose. These can be narrow or wide. Breathing into the back. This is putting up on the screen all the different ways to do even a very simple pose like child's pose. We have hands under the forehead. Marty had his hands under the forehead. We can have the hands down alongside the body or out in front. We can have the knees together, or they can be nice and wide. And I think it's time for a forward bend. So let's please come up and take half butterfly pose with the right leg forward. Left leg bent to the inner upper thigh, and you can, of course, sit on a cushion if you'd like. You could prop something under your outside knee. Stephanie is using some blocks for her forearms, which can be a nice way to relax the arms and shoulders. And it's a little hard to see Jan's variation, but I happen to remember that she likes to do the half shoelace variation. So she's got her left knee on top of her right knee, sort of, and her left foot is over there next to her right hip. And so this is a similar stretch. The target area is the same, which is the back of the extended leg, the back of the right leg, and the back of the spine as well, the lower back. And for some people, doing it with the hips more narrow in this leg variation is more pleasant or more effective. And this is called half shoelace. But they're all really just variations of the same pose. And now releasing slowly and coming into it on the second side. Take your time getting there. Half butterfly, half shoelace, or your choice of another variation. And we can take a moment to appreciate Kitty's use of props here, which is one block under her bent knee. She's also got a little bit of a wider position between the two legs. She likes having her left leg extended out to the, or not extended, but angled out to the side of it. And a bolster for her forehead, and it's maybe supporting her chest as well. And she's got that bolster turned a little so it's just the right height. Here's a different view of Jan's variation, the half shoelace. All right, slowly releasing and slowly coming onto your back. Taking a 1-minute rest on the back after your half butterfly, half shoelace, or whatever you were having a wonderful time exploring. Feel the energy moving through your body at this moment. And notice where it's moving, what parts of the body do you feel right now? And bend your knees, hug them into your chest, wrap the arms around the legs. You could clasp the fingers as you rock side to side, or just have one hand holding each knee. And now bring the knees to center, lift your head up toward your knees, squeeze up into a ball and wrap the arms tight around the legs. And releasing down, and let's roll over onto one side, and we're gonna come into your choice of an outer hip glute pose. And I'm not gonna tell you which one, but if you have any trouble remembering what those choices are, I'll just list the options. There is the figure 4 pose, there's the shoelace pose, the square pose, and the sleeping swan, also known as pigeon. So we'll see what our fine group of yogis comes up with here, starting with Stephanie's sleeping swan. And Kitty is also choosing a sleeping swan. And Jan is choosing a figure 4, which she could clasp her hands behind her thigh, back of her knee, but she is reaching a little farther to hold her shin instead. Left ankle is over the right knee. And Marty has the same pose. We can't see the top half of him, but we can see very well what his legs are doing. And whichever pose you are in, feeling your breath, feeling your body, noticing sensations. And slowly now releasing the pose and taking 20, 30 seconds to transition in your own way to the second side. Take your time getting there. You could stretch out or take a downward dog. When you're ready, let's begin the second side. So again, the family of poses we're in right now is to target the glutes. I didn't say which side, so if you have your right leg on top like Jan does, then and you're in figure 4, then that's going to be your right glutes. If you're in sleeping swan with the left leg forward like Stephanie has, then you will have the sensations in the left glutes, left buttock. Shoelace and square are also options here. And it's one of my learnings from being a yoga teacher for so many groups over so many years that those just don't seem to be the first choice of a majority of people. Shoelace and square. Most people want to go for one of these two variations instead. And as a teacher, it's good for me to know that because I love shoelace and square, and I probably would have fewer fans in this world if I didn't know that those aren't the favorite for a lot of other people outside of my own body. It's one of the things that this group of people has really learned, and that I've learned in the study of yin yoga, is that what the teacher is feeling in their body, that a good teacher can go beyond what they feel in their own body. They understand that there might be something different going on in their student's body, and they honor that and can help guide their students in that experience. And now it's time to release this side. So coming into your relaxation pose, 1 minute to feel the effects, to feel the rebound. This is your time to just be soft and relaxed. Let your body be easy and calm. And just kind of a vessel for sensation right now, noticing what you're feeling. And slowly releasing, we're going to now come into a twist, a spinal twist of your choice with the legs to the right. And here's our first variation. Kitty is using a block under her knees and she has crossed her knees. So she crossed left knee over the right. And she also tucked her left foot behind her right calf, which not everyone can do, but clearly she's doing it quite easily. And Stephanie's doing something kind of like crossing the legs as well, but a little different. And Marty is using a block under his left arm, his extended arm, to get just the right angle of that arm. And now slowly coming back to center, everyone. Resting at the center, straighten out hips and shoulders, and just take a moment at the center in any comfortable position. Feel your breath. And bring it to the second side now. Oh, I see now what Stephanie's doing. It's like a figure four with the legs then coming over. Excellent, excellent choice. And here we see Kitty's variation on the second side as well. And Jan is taking this similar to Kitty, the crossed knees, tucking the foot under. And I can also see Jan has a high angle of her arm, which is different from Kitty's angle of her arm, which is more down from the shoulder. So both perfect options for these two people's bodies because they are feeling what's going on and doing what feels best to help their twist, to help their spine in this pose. and slowly releasing and come into a rebound, resting on your back. One minute here. Feel the sensations that are moving through your body. And now a final Yin asana will be a symmetrical forward bend of your choice. So slowly transitioning in whatever way makes the most sense for the pose that you would like to do. Your choices, some of your choices are happy baby pose, snail pose, caterpillar pose, dragonfly pose. We'll see what you come up with. Did I say snail? So here is Stephanie's choice, the caterpillar pose with the legs kind of like a shoulder width apart, I'd say. And Kitty is once again employing her bolster. She's got it resting right up on her legs, which seems like just the right height to support her head. And again, maybe also supporting her chest, her ribs. The target area of all these forward bends is primarily the spine. Jan is choosing wide legs, dragonfly. She may or may not also feel that variation in the groins, but she says she's feeling it in the back, in the sacrum, low back. And Marty is doing the happy baby for us. And maybe there could be a cushion under your head, a pillow, to help it be a little more yin, or yeah, block. Great, awesome. And slowly releasing and coming into final relaxation now, resting on the back in your choice of a comfortable position. Making yourself cozy with any extra clothes, props. It's even interesting to see how everyone does your Shavasana. Stephanie's got a block under the legs. Jan is just going pure and simple with the easy lie down. Kitty's got the bolster under the knees. Some yin yogis are so good at using their bolsters. I don't use mine. When I see it, it looks so good. It makes me think, gosh, I should use my bolster more. And Marty's Shavasana is arms angled up, which is a wonderful variation. We can't see his legs, but he might be doing what we call in yin the star. Stephanie's doing the star. Nice wide legs. Yes, he says. Wide arms, wide legs, just like you're making a snow angel. So it's a good way to just really let the energy flow through the shoulders and the hips and the spine. Continuing to let the breath flow as it will. Let the energy of the body be easy and calm and open. And starting to come out of your Shavasana, take your time, take a deeper breath, stretch your body out in whatever way feels good. Transitioning up into a seated position. Okay, so that is our asana practice for today. Thank you for sharing with each other your practice. Thank you for sharing just all your great variations. Bye.
Thank you, Debbie.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great time.